Hi, this is Pastor Chuck McCall with New Life Fellowship of Churches. I'm one of the founding pastors, and Jesse McCall, my oldest son, is now the senior pastor of the ministry. But this is video number 4 that I'm making for ministries and short-term teams and individuals that will be coming to visit with us. And I'm going to share with you some really practical things now that will hopefully make your visit with us a success and keep you safe, and if I can say this, keep you out of trouble as well. And so, regarding your visit to Cambodia, I want you to remember this. You and I, as foreigners, are guests in the Kingdom of Cambodia. You're going to find things here that are not like your country. You may not get the kind of service that you would like to get. You may not get the kind of respect that you would like to get. It may not work out exactly because it's an interesting place to live in. And so, number one, I want to encourage you, be flexible. Just be flexible. I've had to learn this over the years. You're either going to be flexible or you're going to break. And so in coming to Cambodia, be flexible with the schedule. We're going to do our best to get you places on time and get you to where you need to be. But honestly, things just don't work out as well as we'd like to have them work out sometimes. And so be flexible with your schedule, be flexible with us, be flexible with the Cambodian society. Second thing I want to encourage you in is smile. Because a smile will solve a multitude of problems. And a smile will touch people's lives and melt them. So regardless of what kind of situation it is, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling tired, if you're not really happy with how things are, smile. It will solve a lot of the problems. The traffic here seems to be insane, seems to be chaotic, but there's actually an order to it, and we'll share with you more on how to safely get from one side of the street to the other when you arrive here. But regardless, if you follow some basic guidelines, you're not going to have a problem. We're going to give you a business card it's a church invitation card for our church. So in case you get lost, you want to keep that with you at all times. It's written in the Cambodian language with our street address and with our phone number on it. And so you want to keep that with you. You want to keep a card from the hotel that you're going to be staying at with you. Because we have had people get lost. They think that just because a Cambodian motor taxi driver or tuk-tuk driver speaks a little bit of English to them, they think that they're being understood. That is not necessarily the case. And so we'll give you these cards just in case you do get lost. You should be able to show it to a Cambodian and they can get you back to where you need to be. When you go out to eat, it's not a custom to tip in Cambodia. So it's not a custom to leave a little extra money. Don't pat people on the head when you're in Cambodia or in Asia because it's offensive. The head is sacred, especially in Buddhism, so you don't want to pat people on the head. A little kid on the head or even an adult on the head, that's just not appropriate. When you're sitting on the floor, and you will be sitting on the floor at times, try your best not to point your feet at a person because that also is an action of disrespect. And so I have to think about it all the time. When you're sitting and you put your feet up on your leg and your foot is pointing at a person, try to move it around so it's pointing a different way. In our church, we have a lot of English speakers, and they can speak English at various levels. But I want to encourage you this, no matter who you're talking to in Cambodia in English, just because they're nodding their head and they indicate agreement, it does not mean that you're being understood. The Cambodian culture is to show respect to you. And so when you say something, they say yes. It's just how Cambodians do it. They nod their head, they smile, and they act in agreement, but it means nothing. It doesn't mean they understand you. It doesn't mean they're in agreement with you. And so check and double check with your guide and with your host and with the leaders here in the church to ensure that things have been communicated properly. We'll talk more about that later. But along those lines, speak simple English. We recommend 3rd grade level. Talk as if you're talking to your younger brother or sister or your grandchild or your niece or your nephew. And so try not to use idioms. If you're an American, you don't know how to talk without using an idiom. It's that we Americans, every sentence is filled with idioms and slang that they're really difficult to translate, by the way. And just to give you a little hint, your translator will probably not translate it anyway because they won't know what it means, or else they'll translate it wrong. And so try your best, practice in your team meetings and practice on your way over here, speaking at a lower level of English, speaking slowly and using simple words. Drink lots of bottled water. Bottled water there's plenty of it over here. It's about 30 US cents a bottle or 25 cents a bottle. It is plentiful. Cold water is available. You can buy a case of it, but drink it. We have had people over the years who have become dehydrated, they've become sick, and it's really ruined their time in Cambodia. And so I want to encourage you, drink more water than what you think that you need. Always carry a bottle of water around with you. US dollars and Cambodian riel are used most anywhere in the country. Don't change all of your money into Cambodian riel in your home country or after you arrive, because US dollars can be used just about anywhere. However, if you're bringing $100 notes, make sure they're crisp and new. Anything that has a little tear in it, and even a $20 or a $5 bill, Cambodians won't take it. For whatever reason, they've got this idea that it's no good and they don't want it. And so check your currency before you come. And when you do come, if you do need Cambodian money, when you go to the shop, they're going to give you your change in US dollars and Cambodian riel, or you can go to a money changer, which are easily to be found, and you can change as much as you need to. A practice that I've kept over the years is I've kept my US dollars in one pocket and my Cambodian riel in another pocket. Right now, as I touch my pants, I can feel it. US dollars in my right pocket, Cambodian riel in the left pocket. I try not to flash large bills in front of people because we don't have the broad daylight assassinations and kidnappings like we used to have when we first moved here, but we do have big city crime. If you go to any big city in the world, you need to take precautions. Don't be flashing a lot of money around, and we'll give you some more guidelines on that when you arrive. But you keep the smaller currency in one pocket because you may want to help a beggar, you may want to help a child. Right now the exchange rate is 4,000 riel to $1 US. So that means 1,000 riel, a 1,000 riel note is worth 25 cents. You give a 1,000 riel note to a parking lot attendant who's watched your car or motorcycle. You can give a 1,000 riel note to a mother and a baby or a small child, and that's 25 US cents, but they're very happy with that. You don't need to give any more, otherwise it blows everything out of proportion. And so regarding safety, watch out for pickpockets. Again, you don't need to carry your passport with you. You might want to bring a photocopy of your passport. But you got to watch out for pickpockets. People can steal your wallet. But what is more common, if you carry a bag on your shoulder, two young guys on a fast motorcycle will come by and they'll grab it off. And they don't care if they drag you halfway down the street with it, but they're going to get your purse, or if you're holding a cell phone, they're going to swing by on a fast motorcycle and rip it out of your hand. And if you fall over and skin your face up, they don't care. And so jewelry is the same thing. Just watch out. They've been known to do the same thing, rip off necklaces. And so I would encourage you, if you have expensive stuff, leave it at home. Even watches, I wear a cheap plastic watch because if it gets stolen or if I get robbed, it's not going to be a big deal for me. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I ride my bicycle for exercise at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't bring my phone with me in case I get robbed. And so I bring a less expensive iPod with me in case they get me. That's the only thing they're going to get. And so I don't want to make you afraid, but I want to make you vigilant, okay? It's very important that you're aware of your surroundings and you don't make yourself an easy target. And so if you have white skin, you're already an easy target. And so, but you're going to be with a Cambodian almost all the time. Also, that reminds me, don't be staying out late. Don't be staying out past, at the very latest, 9 o'clock at night. Really, 8 o'clock at night. Cambodians get up at early, 5 o'clock in the morning. There's activity. 6 o'clock, it's broad daylight, and it's activity all over the city. And they go to bed early. If you're going to stay out late, you're going to get in trouble. So we do have a policy. I believe it's 9 o'clock at the very latest. You're into your hotel or your guest house or wherever you happen to be staying. Keep your bag hanging across your shoulder, not over one arm, but hanging across your shoulder. If you see a crowd, restrain yourself from going over to see what's happening over there, because it could break out into a fight or the police might blame you for something, and so just hold back on your curiosity. Don't go out one-on-one with the opposite sex. We're very protective of the church members in our church, and so we don't want you, a male, going out with a female Cambodian, or a female going out with a male Cambodian one-on-one. You go out in groups to have fun, that's perfectly fine, but not one-on-one. Don't come over here and end up forming a romantic relationship in the space of 2 weeks. Decide you're going to marry somebody, go back to your home country, and a few months later come back and propose them or try to take them back to your country. Please don't do that to us. I wouldn't bring it up if it hasn't happened, and it has. And there are some people who come over specifically looking for a spouse. Please don't do that to us, because if you do, we'll take whatever action is necessary. Along with that, please no drinking or smoking. We are a smoke-free church. We are a drink-free church. And if in your country and if your culture, you personally don't have any problems with drinking or smoking wine or beer here or there or something like that, that's up to you. And that is totally your freedom. But remember, when you're with us, you're with our guests. And so we don't want you drinking while you're here. We don't want you smoking while you're here. And if that is a problem for you, you may consider going with another missions group. We do want you to release your spiritual gifts. We want you to pray for everybody, anybody and everybody, Christian or non-Christian. Just ask, can I pray with you about that? And the main thing is we want you to plant the seed of love. Show acts of kindness. I said earlier, smile, and you will reap a great harvest. And so again, I share this with you not to put restraints on you, but really to make your time successful, so you're safe, so you're healthy, and so you end up producing a lot of positive fruit during your stay with us. Thank you.